Estimating durations is the exercise to determine how long it will take to complete various activities. Estimation is something that we as humans perform all the time. In our daily lives, when we think of doing something, go somewhere, buy something, we estimate. At least in our heads and sometimes even on the paper. Same way, for all the activities in the network diagram, durations are estimated. When thinking about estimation, there are two aspects that will always be considered. First is how accurate the estimate has to be. Generally speaking, an estimate for the work that will be done in the farther future is expected to be less accurate, but the estimate for the work to be done next week is to be highly accurate. This brings us to the second aspect, which is progressive elaboration. As the farther future becomes a nearer future, the estimate gets more accurate. Now, why does this happen? To answer this question, we need to look at the estimate for farther future first. Why is it difficult to give an accurate estimate for something that is going to happen in farther future? It is because there is not enough data available, or if there is data available, it may not be of high quality. Yes. For example, a project manager is in the early stages of project planning. Requirements are being refined, specifications and design haven't started yet, and the client users are asking for the date, when, and for how many days they have to perform user acceptance testing. There is no way the project manager at this time can provide an accurate start date and number of days needed for user acceptance testing. The estimate provided will look like the user acceptance testing is expected to be performed around May-June for about 2 to 3 weeks. This estimate is based on the project manager's previous experience for the same type of projects, what the UAT estimate typically looked like. As the project gets closer to UAT, there will be more data available, completed design, completed development. At this time, the estimate for user acceptance testing will be highly accurate. Now, we are going to discuss some other factors that need to be considered when an estimate is to be done. The first factor is the productivity of the resources working. Boxes to be filled with sand. How many boxes a resource can fill in 1 hour on an average? Or editing a book. How many pages can the editor edit in 1 hour? What will impact these estimates? The experience, the skill level, the motivation, the technology being used, and the learning curve. More experienced and skilled, highly motivated, efficient technology, and the shallow learning curve will all result in higher productivity, and the opposite of that will very likely result in lower productivity. How about student syndrome? No hurry. Delay until a point is reached when further delay will result in not completing on time. Procrastinating until the last moment. That is a behavior thing. The estimator needs to consider the impact of procrastination when estimating. Again, generally speaking, the estimator will break down a larger activity into smaller ones to reduce the impact of the behavioral aspect. Another factor that is important, especially when the duration is being estimated, is how many resources will be working. Let's say some carpentry work will be done for a house building project. One carpenter will take 40 days to finish the work. Maybe project cannot afford so much time, so another carpenter is added. It will probably cut down the time needed to half, let's say 20 days. How about having 40 carpenters work on the house and be done in 1 day? Something will happen, but not the work. There will be few carpenters that will end up in a hospital because they got injured on the job. The project manager must not expect that time to finish has a straight line relationship, like a mathematical relationship, with the number of resources. The law of diminishing results tells us that the gain in productivity by adding resources gets lower and lower, and at some point it may actually reverse. So this is another factor that needs to be considered when estimating durations.